Bit tired tonight, Andy. It's starting to get to me, mate. The long days. It's cold rock. I'm packing the ice cream in the morning, off to SCN in the afternoon, straight to here to record. I'm really,
I've got heaps of energy.
Yeah, I was about to say, you look like you got heaps
buzzing
of energy.
like a bee.
You on the no-dose again, are you?
No.
Experimenting, are you?
What are you talking about? I'm always like this, zinging around.
Zinging
buzzing.
around. I wonder if anyone ever used zinging and buzzing to describe you,
all
Doc.
the time.
Yeah?
You want to go for a jog after this?
I don't want to go for a jog after this. 8 games, 50 seconds, this is inside 50.
Oh, you want to do the show standing up?
You knocked out football off as well. Oh. First match of the rounds for you, Andy. You look like you've settled down a little bit. Port Adelaide versus Collingwood, Amy Stadium.
Well, Collingwood were uber impressive last week, even though it was only West Coast that they were playing. Didac was very good, and Mitch, when was the last time you saw a player kick 3 goals in 1 minute?
Not just 3 goals either, Andy. 3 of the best goals. 1 from the boundary, 1 along the ground, and 1 from 50 metres out.
It was absolutely spectacular.
He's the superstar of the game.
The only problem I see with the Pies going forward is keeping a consistent 22 going into the finals.
A little bit of selection table merry-go-round.
There is. And Lee Brown is on that merry-go-round, and so is Joshua Fraser.
He is, yep.
Well, Port, they've gone from bad to worse. If it wasn't for West Coast, they'd be hailed as the worst team in the competition.
Forget about Port. No one who goes for Port Adelaide watches this show. Who's going to win, Andy?
Alright, Pies by 40.
Pies by about 9 goals for me as well. They're
at
$1.15. They should win, but don't touch anything that's that
Hawthorn
short.
Geelong, Mitcho.
Match of the round, Andy, huh?
Huge!
Big game. Cannot wait for this one. Here's a good chance for us all to see just how good the Hawks really are.
Yeah.
And of late, games between these two teams have been very, very
Belters.
tight. All going to Geelong, but all by less than 8 points, with 2 games being only a point, Andy.
Like that stat.
On form, no team is hotter than the Hawks right now, looking to make it 8 in a row against the Cats.
Good
and
run.
honestly, if they can do it, they've got to firm into top 3 favourites for the flag, Andy.
Yeah.
Hodge, Rioli, Buddy, scintillating form at the moment, and
Delicious.
that's been very well documented, but it's that next tier of players that are taking them right up to the top. I'm talking about Birchells, Strattons, Lewis's, Alice's. They've all been playing very, very well, and Burgoyne looks at home in that jumper.
Smooth.
Hasn't lost yet, and the fact you hit me with before.
Smashed you in the face with it. When he played for Port Adelaide, won his first 14.
Wow, that's 22 games in a row for
Ben McAvoy, the only other player to do so.
Insane. Cats are in good form themselves, Andy. 8 of the last 9. Still the team to beat. Mackie is killing it. Want to give you a Brownlow roughie. He's $26, Andy. Paul Chapman's been best.
You've got to say Mackie.
No. Best on ground in 3 games, Paul Chapman. $7 to finish in the top 5. I don't mind that. Who do you like in this big game, Andy?
Cats by 19.
You've just read that I had Cats by 20 and you've underdone me by 1. Cats are $1.40, Hawks are $3.30. If you like the Hawks, they're pretty juicy odds, $3.30. Going to be a great game to watch on a Saturday afternoon. Andy, West Coast versus Adelaide up at Subi.
Yeah, this is going to be a quick one. I reckon for a value bet out there, put a little bit of moolah on the Crows to make the
Have a look at that. You can shop around, get about $8 on that, Andy.
West Coast have been absolutely terrible. Adelaide starting to show why people rated them. I reckon the Crows pretty easily for mine. They're at 145. Eagles 277. Your tip?
Crows for me a little bit tighter than that. West Coast, although they've been very dismal, haven't been too bad at
Let's
home.
head up to the stadium, formerly known as the Gabatoir, where the Lions host the Saints.
We are jamming through this. I reckon I might. A bit of that no-dose might be just drifting off you, just hitting me in the face. I'm peppy about it.
Waft. Like the purple waft.
The Saints.
Purple haze.
Give me a chance. The Saints have learned to cope without Revolt in the last 12 games, Andy.
They have.
But the champion's back, and fans are going to be stoked to see him back.
I am.
Not sure if it's a great game to bring him back, though, for Doc. It's been a pretty patchy surface up there. It's also...
Let's just leave the diagnosis to the doc.
All right, sorry, Doc. What do you think, mate?
I think it's fair enough.
Don't care. They're going to win. They're going to win this game anyway, so he might get a bit of time on the bench, a bit of on and off all game.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see the powerful legs back on the park and see him clunk a few grabs.
Yeah.
Fev should be back for the Lions, and it's going to be a chance for him to actually prove himself.
Well, he's had 10 years to do that.
They're still hit by injuries a little bit, Andy. Brown and Drummond are out at the Lions, and they're their 2 most important players. And until we see them back, I don't think we'll see the Lions win too many games or do anything of much significance. Saints are $1.20 and stay away from the Lions.
Your tip?
Obviously the Saints, 35 points, 40 points.
I think 34 or 39.
Okay, good one. Again, Richmond and Freo at Etihad Stadium, Andy.
One of the classic grabs, one of the best calls I've ever heard all year was Ben Cousins. You know what his reaction was to his accidental overdose? It was a bit of a wake-up call. I like that. It was very humorous. Very funny stuff.
Benny Cousins.
Tigers, they're everyone's second team, Mitch, but wait till they actually start knocking good teams off, then everyone's going to go back.
Good enough to do that yet.
Yeah, well, they will in a few years, and everyone will go back to hating them like they once did. One thing I've been impressed with is their young heads not to single out Revolt every time they go up for it. They've been very
bad
disciplined.
teams, isn't it? They're always looking for the same
like Carlton and Fev.
Yeah,
so
no
they've been very good. It's very impressive. Big question for Freo. Can they go on as successfully without Michael Barlow? That was absolutely sickening, wasn't it?
No doubt about it.
Pav needs to lift. He's been a little bit quiet.
Last 4 or 5
Sandy,
weeks.
a shoe-in for All-Australian. And Mundy having his best year. I'm going to go an upset here. I'm going to say the Tigers. I'm on board. I think they can do it by about 3 goals. I saw Freo with playing average Carlton a couple of weeks ago, and they weren't that impressive. Only got over the line by 4 or 5 goals. Will Cuz play?
Don't know, Andy.
Well, the Raw meter, if they win, will be going absolutely spastic.
You love the Raw meter, don't you?
I think it is the
proven.
Worst invention I've ever
Certainly
seen.
Is. Forget the Raw meter. It's going to be Freo. If they're serious about playing finals, they've got to win this one. Sandland's not just All-Australian form for me, Andy. He's almost should be favourite for the Brownlow. He's an absolute game dominator.
It's a very large man.
Big man. What game have I got now, Andy?
Sydney North up at the SCG.
This is a big one. This is very important for both teams. Almost the most important game of the round.
Rivals.
Are they?
No.
Funny man you are, Andy. This is a race for 8th spot on the ladder for me. Sydney were probably the most disappointing I've ever seen them in my young football watching career.
Mm-hmm.
5.5 goal lead 10 minutes into the third quarter against a team that was 15th on the ladder.
Right.
And they managed to lose that game. Don't know how they did it.
Mm.
The Tigers, you just talked about them. You're on the bandwagon.
Yep.
They're 1 game off Brisbane, Melbourne and Essendon. They could be in 11th spot in 2 rounds if things go their way, Andy.
Brilliant.
It's absolutely crazy. North Melbourne were overrun by the classy Saints last week, but they didn't lose any stripes in the battle. Lindsay Thomas, just quickly want to talk about him, Andy.
Yep.
Played 2 of the best games of football I've seen this year.
Mm-hmm.
Played 4 stingers and a few average ones. Time to step up, mate. There's a couple of really promising young guns at that team.
Yep.
Anthony and Zeeble are out. You need to step in the mix, mate. They're going somewhere with or without you. Stand up for me, and I think he will, and I like North in an upset.
Melbourne, Essendon at the G is my game, Mitcho. I quite like the Dons. They're at 188. D's 195. Why don't you play people like Courtney Dempsey, etc., who are in the reserves, who we need to find out about?
Basher Hooley.
They played Michael Quinn.
Nagel.
They played Michael Quinn, and he looked as lost as a Muslim at a synagogue.
Selection table pressure on that one for me. I know the board love Michael Quinn for some stupid reason. Don't know why they want him in and out of the team, but he keeps getting it going.
Political correctness. Got to even it up.
Who do you like from the D's, mate? Who's been impressing you lately?
Trengove is going from strength to strength. He is a real player.
No doubt about that.
And I reckon he'll be better than Sylvia. And McDonald and Sylvia should come back into the lineup.
I'd like to see Sylvia back in because I've had him on the ground on the Supercoach level late withdrawal the last few weeks. Been hurting me, but that's still scraped away with a win.
Your tip?
You said the Dons. I say the D's.
Right.
Oh, I had the Dons down. I'm going with the D's. 20 points.
So exciting the way you did that.
Huge game for me, Andy, and we really need to push on.
Massive.
Carlton versus the Western Bulldogs. Big game. Got to keep the top 4 aspirations alive. If you want to win this game, either team, it's the only way you're going to get a spot in the top 4.
Correct.
Dogs have to win this game, Andy. It means so much more to them than the Blues. While the Carlton premiership window begins to open, the Western Bulldogs premiership window begins to
close.
And that's why we pay him the big bucks. Acker, Jono, Hawley and Hahn, they're all on their last legs. Let's not forget, G is pretty old as well, and I don't think they've got enough young class coming through to fill those shoes,
can't
Andy.
Teach an old dog
They've got to do it. I like that, Andy. Good one. Carlton, they made light work of Brisbane last week and are showing no signs of the Blues regarding losing Favola. Big Shorts, Eddie Betts has been lighting it up for them again. Houlihan, Scotland, Yaron and Simpson all been getting involved on the scoreboard as well. Hampson, I didn't like him in the ruck, but you say give him another chance. You think he's more promising than Warnock. I'm going to go with the Bulldogs just because they have to win, Andy, by about 10 points.
I think the Bulldogs by 46.
Wow. Okay. That's huge.
Yep, blowout.
I'm back to the first sheet. What are we up to? Viewer artwork of the week. All right, here we go.
What have you got for us this week?
I didn't. I thought we were doing a little pun about
when
we going to do a joke.
I thought you were going to shove
Well, you said that was too crap to do. That was just me punching Julia Gillard in the face.
You can't do that. What I've actually done, Mitcho, I've sold it.
He sold it.
I've sold
the rights.
We've got YouTube rivals, and they actually offered
YouTube
me
50G. Who are our YouTube rivals?
Peter Hellier. He's come back. It's called Bouncing Inside 50.
Oh, that one with Richo.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
And Lethal Lee.
Oh, no. They're on YouTube
So I sold
now.
it for 50G.
Sorry, boys.
The boys at the back go for a holiday.
See if you can beat 100 views a week. We'll see you next week.
Come on, Mitch, I'm ready to go. I'm pumped. Knees up. Up. I'm ready. Let's go. Quick, come on.